So this is the story of Peter and the wolf.
Oh, I know this one.
Yeah,
Right.
it was one thing.
Our story begins one morning while the fat duck and the grandfather were still sleeping. Peter quietly opened the garden gate and went out into the meadow. In a tall tree in front of the garden wall sat a little bird who was Peter's friend. He called out, "Do you hear how quiet it is?" Meanwhile, the fat duck had awakened and saw that the garden gate was open. "Ah," she thought, "the day has begun well. Now I can have my bath in the pond in the meadow." And off she waddled right past the little bird. The little bird was angry because the duck had not said good morning, so he flew down next to her and proudly flapped his wings. "What kind of a bird are you? You can't even fly," he said. The duck yawned. "What kind of a bird are you? You can't even swim." And she stuck her tongue out at the bird and dived into the pond. They argued and argued, the duck paddling in the water, the bird skipping about on the shore. Suddenly, Peter, who was watching nearby, saw the cat sneaking through the grass. "How I love birds," thought the cat, "especially for breakfast with white bread and milk." "Look out!" cried Peter. As quick as lightning, the bird flew up into the tree. While the duck quacked and stuck her tongue out at the cat from the middle of the pond. "You will regret that," thought the cat, licking her lips. Now the grandfather woke up and stomped out the garden gate to look for Peter. "Peter, I have forbidden you to go into the meadow alone. What if the wolf should come out of the forest? What would you do then?" "But I'm not afraid of the wolf," said Peter. Sternly, the grandfather took Peter's hand, went back into the garden, and locked the gate. "If the wolf comes, I will protect Peter," the grandfather thought. And then it happened. Out of the forest came the big gray wolf. The cat hissed and raced up the tree as high as she could. But the foolish duck sprang out of the water and stuck her tongue out at the wolf. Then she tried to run away. The wolf snarled,
"You dare tease me?"
and he came nearer, and he pounced on the duck. And swallowed her whole. The cat and the bird watched from the tree. "Now the wolf has his eye on you," said the bird to the cat. "And I have my eye on you," answered the cat. The wolf planted himself under the tree.
"Come, let's play,"
said the wolf in a friendly voice as he stared up at the cat with his big red eyes. watching through the locked gate. "I'm not afraid of the wolf," he whispered, and he ran off toward the house. In no time at all, he returned with a rope and climbed up the garden gate and onto the stone wall. Then he grabbed hold of a branch and swung up into the tree. "Don't just sit there," he called softly to the little bird. "Tickle the wolf's nose for me, but don't let him catch hold of you." The little bird said, "Well, I'd rather tease the wolf than be eaten by the cat." So he flew down and perched on the wolf's nose.
A bird on the nose is better than a cat in the tree,
thought the wolf, so he snapped at the bird, but the bird fluttered back and forth above the wolf, just out of reach. The wolf snapped and snapped again and again, but he still could not catch him. Meanwhile, Peter had tied a loop on one end of the rope, and when the wolf came near, Peter slipped the loop over the wolf's tail. When the tail was nicely in place, Peter pulled the line toward him.
"I'll just tug on this line,"
snarled the wolf,
"and pull the child down. Then I will eat him."
and the wolf pulled and pulled. But Peter had tied the line solidly to the tree. The wolf growled. He tugged and pulled savagely on the rope until he lay on the ground, exhausted.
"Please let me go home,"
pleaded the wolf.
"and I will never ever come here again."
"Come with me," chirped the bird. And then everyone started for the forest with the wolf. First came Peter. Behind him marched the grandfather with the cat.
Let me see all my cats.
And the big tired wolf. The duck sat comfortably in the wolf's belly. "At last I can travel peacefully," she thought, and she stuck her tongue out at the wolf.
Inside the wolf. So she stepped up to